Welcome back to Lucore Automotive Services. Today I'm working on the Capri again. It's time to get this thing in the shop and put the brake hoses on it. Let's get to work. Do you think it'll start? Oh, I think it'll start. Might take a little coercing. Oh, I gotta put a throttle spring on it too. It's in gear. Got gear, Rich. Dial that high idle back a little bit. You're just angry. Why are you so angry? Let's put some grease on those. You're angry because you've been neglected for the last 20 years. I get it. I understand. Ooh, you're gonna break. Don't break. It's just a spring clip. It should pop right off. Well, don't stare at it, fix it. It's either going to break or it's not. Get off there. That's an overly complicated bit. But that worked. Just slide them forward, I guess. Oh, you're gonna make me bleed. That's not what we were trying to do. Did I run out of fuel again? Yeah, now we're not squirting, so I need to go get more fuel. Alright, well, at least it runs. I'm going to lube up this linkage and see if I can get it to work a little better, because it doesn't like to return. Probably change the oil. Norm was concerned with the oiling system on the camshaft because apparently these are known to grind the cams off if the oiling in the upper part of the cylinder head gets clogged. So we're going to pop the valve cover off. We got our master cylinder. We got our master cylinder reservoir. And we found a cap that works. Transferred the O-ring over from our old one for the seal. Perfect. There you go. Right in your help section. 675, 12, 28. Looks like this box has been on 10 or 12 test flights, judging by the number of staples and tape that's on it. Whatever. So let's get the wheels off this thing, put some brake hoses on it. Dry rot. I'll never understand buying brand new tires for a project car so that they can sit and rot. Like, tires are the last thing I ever buy for a car I'm working on. But it's an easy mistake to make. Especially if you're, hey, these were made in Korea. Wow. That one sat flat for a really long time. 165 R13. I'd probably have to buy a trailer tire to do that. Look, it's got brand new brake pads on it. I think the rotors are going to make a little bit of noise once we get the brakes working. Ooh, the rotors bolt onto the hubs. That's cool. Hey Norm, I need some brake rotors. Team Blitz. This thing clearly was a Texas car for part of its life. Oh, that hose is disgusting. Let's get some hoses on this thing. Will it come loose? Holy cow, it came loose. Will the wonders never cease? That's actually pretty impressive. Alright, nut and lock washer. I gotta drop this thing down off take off the inside connections. I'll go up and do the bottom one first. The back one. Oh, I should probably check to see if there's any fluid in that transmission before we blow it up. Still not horrible. It definitely needs some tin work. A lot of it. Oh, it's not horrible. Looks like it's been a little wet. Maybe that's just air. Huh, it had fluid in it. That's a bonus. Chunks aren't falling out. That's just gear oil. We'll put some fresh gear oil in there. Make it happy. Yeah, it looks like it's aerated. Bunch of air bubbles. Alright, I get that on. Looked like it had a... Yeah, it's got some nastiness down in the bottom of it. Whatever. He'll be all right. There is so much room to work on this car in this engine bay. With it being such a small car, you would think it would be otherwise. Well, I suppose if I cram a V6 or a V8 into one of these, that will change. Okay, that guy's snug. Let's get these brakes bled a little bit. Probably work on that throttle linkage next. I'm just going to drop some oil down in those. I feel like the shaft is corroded. I was thinking about pulling it apart and put some bearing grease in it, but I think like some just straight ATF would be better. Everything's better with lube. Just saying. True words. Return spring style is horrible. I'm here to tell you. This must have been before they went to dual springs, because when one breaks, it gets stuck in wide open throttle. If you have two springs, you always have a backup. Ooh, that's better. Has its own return spring on it. Alright, cool. No. Sometimes your bleeders are plugged up with dirt and cobwebs or mud. You can't get your stuff to bleed. You just need to run a drill bit down through them and clean them out. Just little stuff. I've actually been very lucky on this. All my fittings came loose. I'm pretty shocked at that, actually. Because that's not normally how it works on old cars. Brake fluid makes your fingers feel weird. It's much faster with two people. In fact, we have a brake bleeding setup. We're going to use that. This is one of Bruce's patented self-bleeding setups. Need more fluid. This is very exciting. I'm going to get back to you here after I get these bled out a little bit more. I don't know if you can see that in the picture or not, but the whole back of the master cylinder looks like it's contaminated fluid already, but it's just a trick of the light, so whatever. Well, I think that's about it for today. I got to head home here shortly, but I actually have all but one running light working. Brake lights are working. This car didn't come to us with a turn signal switch in it, so we'll see if we can get one of those. The headlights don't work, but the dimmer switch is like rotted into pieces, so I'm wondering if the dimmer switch is our problem. I'll have to check my headlights and see if I have power to them. Maybe it's just burnt out bulbs, but I'm not normally that lucky. Pretty good progress today. We got all the brake lines on. I actually got the front brakes to bleed out, and they hold good pressure, so we can actually drive it now. My rear brakes are not bleeding, and I think the brake proportioning valve might be corroded or rusted inside, because it did actually discolor my brand new fluid in the master cylinder after trying to bleed it and pump it out. But, you know, it is what it is. Minor things. It runs, it drives. Kind of stops now. I need to go get a bunch of fuel and dump it down its gullet because I ran it out of fuel again. But My throttle linkage lubed up, and I've got the spring set a little bit differently so it holds a little more pressure. So now my throttle is returning much nicer. So that should eliminate the high revving starts that we've been having. I will probably change my idle settings once I can get it all the way up to operating temperature and have it hold it. But yeah, pretty good progress. I don't have any loads that are like, you know, key off loads. My battery is holding a charge. Even, you know, over the course of the last week, it sat outside with the battery hooked up and it didn't drain the battery, so that's a plus. Basically gonna get back to working on the interior here soon and keep moving forward. It's a big project. It's actually come a long way really quick. We got very lucky with this because there's a lot of stuff in it that's in good shape. I mean, realistically, it's got a bunch of holes in the floor, don't get me wrong, but it is a Capri. I know we need to pull these bumpers off. Those things are horrendous. But I think I'm actually going to weigh the car before I do that. I figured I'd stick it on the scales just because I'm curious where it scales at, and then remove the bumpers and see how much weight it removes from the car. Because I think these are probably weigh 80 pounds a piece. Well, thanks for watching. We'll get back on this thing here soon. We've got some AMX projects we need to get in here and start tearing apart as well. But they're all going to come along. It'll be a fun ride to build a few of these cars that we have in here. At any rate, click like, subscribe, leave us a comment below. We'll see you on the next one. You guys have a great day. Stay safe out there.